Colombia was once a name spoken in fear. Today, it's a story the world wants to understand. To understand modern Colombia, the story must return to the late 20th century when the country stood at a crossroads between instability and survival. During the 1980s and early 1990s, Colombia faced challenges that tested the very idea of nationhood. Organized crime networks grew powerful not only because of money, but because institutions were weak, opportunities were limited, and entire communities felt abandoned. Drug cartels filled the vacuum left by the state. They controlled routes, territories, and influence, shaping daily life in ways that went far beyond crime. For ordinary citizens, fear was not abstract, it was woven into routines, decisions, and futures. Parents worried about their children's safety. Young people saw limited paths forward. Trust in systems slowly eroded. Medellín became the global symbol of this crisis. International media labeled it the most dangerous city in the world, and that image spread faster than the reality behind it. Yet even then, Medellín was more than violence. It was also families, workers, students, and communities trying to survive under extraordinary pressure. The Colombian government, facing internal conflict and external pressure, began a long and difficult process of reform. These efforts were not instant solutions. They involved mistakes, setbacks, and painful lessons. But step by step, the foundations of change were laid. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Colombia entered a slow transition phase. Security policies were strengthened, institutions were restructured, international cooperation increased. At the same time, local communities started playing a crucial role in rebuilding trust and reclaiming public spaces. This period marked an important shift. Colombia stopped being defined only by what it was fighting against and began focusing on what it was building toward. Education became a priority in cities like Medellín. Urban development projects connected marginalized neighborhoods to city centers. Public transportation systems were redesigned not just for movement, but for inclusion. These changes sent a powerful message: the future would not belong to fear. Bogotá followed a similar path. Cultural investment transformed the capital into a hub of art, music, and civic life. Museums, libraries, and public festivals reshaped how citizens experienced their own cities. Slowly, the narrative began to change. By the 2010s, Colombia's image on the global stage was evolving. Tourism, once unthinkable for many regions, began to grow. Visitors arrived not out of curiosity about danger, but interest in history, nature, and culture. Coffee farms, colonial towns, Caribbean coastlines, and Andean landscapes started defining Colombia's identity abroad. Colombian coffee gained worldwide recognition, not just as a product, but as a symbol of craftsmanship and resilience. Farmers who once struggled amid instability now became ambassadors of quality and tradition. At the same time, Colombia continued confronting its past. Peace efforts, social dialogue, and historical reflection became part of national conversation. Progress was not perfect, and challenges remained, but the direction was clear: forward. Entering the 2020s, Colombia faced new global tests. Economic pressure, social inequality, and worldwide uncertainty challenged recent gains. Yet the country approached these challenges differently than before. Civic participation grew stronger, youth voices became louder, digital innovation expanded opportunities in technology, entrepreneurship, and creative industries. Medellín emerged as a regional example of smart urban planning and innovation. Bogotá strengthened its role as a cultural and economic center. Coastal cities like Cartagena and Santa Marta balanced tourism growth with heritage preservation. By 2024 and moving toward 2026, Colombia stands as a nation still in progress, not finished, not perfect, but transformed. Its global image is no longer controlled by its darkest chapter. Instead, it is shaped by creativity, resilience, and forward momentum. Today, Colombia is defined not by fear, but by determination, not by violence, but by voice, not by isolation, but by connection. Millions of people now see Colombia not as a warning, but as an example, a country that faced its past honestly and chose to move ahead. Colombia did not erase its history, it learned from it. And as the world looks toward the future, Colombia's story stands as a reminder that even the most difficult chapters can lead to renewal. This is not just the story of where Colombia came from, it is the story of where it is going.